70-year-old Kyla Blightt is warning other young people about the dangers of vaping after she needed life-saving surgery for a burst lung.
Kyla was previously getting through an entire 4,000 puff vape in a week before the ordeal. Now, that number of puffs in a vape should last up to 3 weeks, so that's pretty intense. She says she is now scared away from the devices. Kyla and her father, Mark, are with us now, as well as Dr. Hillary. Kyla, you're so young and you've just recovered from 5.5-hour surgery to remove part of your lung.
Gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you're smiling and it's good to see you well. How are you feeling at the moment?
I'm okay now. Like, a lot better than I was before.
Now, this only happened a couple of weeks ago, didn't it? Yeah. Tell us what happened. What did you feel? What took you into hospital?
Well, I was at my friend's house and I passed out, but I've passed out many times before, so we thought nothing of it, really.
You've passed out many times before?
Yeah, it's just like a low blood pressure thing.
OK, right.
And then I woke up the morning, not like after, and I really couldn't move comfortably. Like, I could only be in one position without any pain.
Gosh.
So when, like, walking around, and that was really difficult. So I told my dad, and he took me up to the hospital, where we knew there was something wrong when they took us straight in and said that I had to have an X-ray straight away, and then told me I had to have a drain put in to remove all that, like, air that was collapsing my lung. And then after that, because the drain didn't work, we had to have surgery.
Goodness. An operation that lasted that long on your lungs, because basically what had happened was one of your lungs had collapsed, so that's why you were feeling the pain. Yeah. And you blame that on vaping. Now, there's lots of parents of teens watching who are trying to get their children to give up vaping. There is a law which says you shouldn't be able to vape under 18. You began, didn't you, when you were 15? And you think it all led to this horrific situation. Sure. How did you manage to get hold of the vapes? I mean, without dobbing anyone in.
Well, people sell them, like, they buy them in big packs and sell them.
And we're not talking about getting them from the newsagent. You mean that you actually go somewhere and somebody has already bulk bought?
Yeah, and then I buy them off them.
When you look back now in the weeks and months before, were there any signs in what was happening to you health-wise? You know, are there things which other 17-year-olds might be looking out for if they've been vaping, or their parents, and think, actually, that's a telltale sign?
I wouldn't know if it was a sign, but I definitely experienced, like, a bit of pain in my chest. But I usually, like, if I coughed or something, it would just go away. So I never really thought anything of it at first.
Did you ever think it might be to do with the vaping?
No, honestly.
And did you have a vape with you all the time?
Yeah. Everywhere I went.
4,000 puffs a week's a lot of puffs.
Yeah.
So were you ever really stopping?
Well, I wouldn't, like, obviously use it all the time, but when I'd pick it up, I wouldn't really put it down, like, straight away. I'd have a few goes before I put it down.
When did you have your first vape in the morning?
Probably as soon as I woke up.
As soon as you woke up?
So you had it under your pillow, did you? Or
just on my bedside table.
In your bedside table, yeah. Look, Mark, you are dad, so you're extremely concerned about your daughter, and thank goodness you took her to hospital. Yeah. But you're kind of at the other end of the scale in a way, aren't you? Because the Chief Medical Officer, Professor Chris Whitty, said if you smoke, then it's OK to vape, but if you don't smoke or vape, don't vape. Yeah. You were a smoker and you had been vaping for 13 years.
I was a heavy smoker and absolutely fantastic, this thing that actually stopped me smoking. So, to me, it was brilliant. But then this happened and I've stopped altogether. Now I don't vape at all.
Gosh.
So it's the actual reality of what you believe was responsible for your daughter's health condition, her lung condition, that has just meant you'll never do it.
I'll never know.
But we don't want teenagers getting to that position, do we?
No way.
Gosh.
Not a chance. I mean, it's the ones I had, they were, how can you say it? They were normal. Right. And then the ones now, they're all fruit and sweets. Oh, no. And when she was having an operation, I went down to their shop and I bought one to try it. It was an ice thing, and it was gorgeous. It really was gorgeous. So you can see the attraction to the kids.
You see, you say it's gorgeous. I think they're disgusting. I can't
the
stand the
taste.
smell or the taste.
Oh,
They're
I think
so
the
sweet.
taste.
But of course, the accusation is they taste like that so that they appeal to people who would like that sort of flavour.
Yeah.
Now, you have something around your neck.
Yeah.
Mark, is that a kind of vape substitute?
Yeah, well, to me, I mean, it's just a bit of pipe. But, yeah...
It's got nothing in it?
Nothing in it at all. Your mind's telling you it's working.
And that's not going to affect your health at all, is it? Dr. Hillary, what would you say about vapes?
Well, for Mark, who was a previous smoker, he was better off vaping. For Kyla, it's the last thing she needed. You know, kids who don't smoke shouldn't vape. They do contain toxins, many of which have been identified, some of which are pretty nasty. Nicotine is addictive. No, they don't contain, they don't give you carbon monoxide and they don't give you tar, but they give you lots of other things. And it's a lot of liquid. 4,000 puffs a week is a lot of liquid going into the lungs. And we just don't know yet what the long-term effects are. In Australia, you can't get an e-cigarette unless it's prescribed by a doctor to help you get off smoking cigarettes. Fine, we should do that. But, you know, we can see what the effect... I mean, you can have a spontaneous rupture of the lung anyway, whether you vape or not, but it certainly isn't going to help if you vape.
Can I ask you about this advice? Because we talked to the Chief Medical Officer about this a few weeks ago. My dad is 86 today. He's a medical cell biologist. He said to me 10 years ago, he said, I'm really worried about vaping because we're saying it's better than smoking. We don't know. And putting a substance into your lungs in that way, he said, we will only find out in years to come what the damage is. So when we say vaping is better than smoking, I mean, aren't both really bad for you?
Well, the evidence suggests that vaping is a lot better for you than smoking. Smoking, it's the tar that it causes cancer and heart disease, particularly tar, carbon monoxide as well. But there are over 2,000 chemicals have been found in the vapour that you get from an e-cigarette, from a vape. So we can't say what the long-term effects are. And if you've never smoked, it's better not to be inhaling this, you know, vaporised form of candy floss. And it is dressed up as candy floss to make it taste good, make it attractive to youngsters who the last thing you want to be putting in your lungs is anything that's potentially toxic.
And Kyla, when you think back now, you know, when you were 15, 16, you know, you're growing young lungs and you think what you were doing to them, what would you say to other 13, 14-year-olds watching our programme who may have been doing some vaping? What do you feel now about what they're doing?
I just don't think they should do it to themselves. It's not worth it, really. I know it's fun and people think it's cool now, but not worth it at all.
Well, you should know. Kyla, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for coming to talk to us this morning. And Mark, good to see you. Dr. Hillary, yeah, really important. And, you know, good luck with your recovery. You've been through something really serious and hope you, feel 100% very soon.
And the message you're giving to other young people is really important. It's very brave to do that, but thank you.
Thank
you. Really good thing to do.
If you've been affected by any of the issues we've been discussing, you can find advice and support itv.com/helplines.